Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be continuing on with Black Metal Week, checking out a band called Emperor. Now, I didn't really get that many requests to do this one, and they were kind of all over the place as far as song requests go. We got stuff from Cosmic Sea, Guitar Noodle, BL Fisher, Steven, and Jonathan Henderson. Steven said any song off of Prometheus works, and Jonathan specifically requested the Eruption, which is track 1 off of Prometheus. So I guess technically it gets 2 votes, and it's the only one that got 2 votes. So that's what we're doing. I also heard in the comments section, I think it was maybe it was Patreon. Somebody said though that their newest album is definitely some of their best work, and it would be the best introduction to them. So I guess 2 votes for the Prometheus album, and what's wrong with track 1? Track 1's a good place to start. So let's see what Emperor is bringing to the table.
In dark tunnels, it came to silence. There was nothing.
Yeah. Really strong composition here. This is gonna get rough. Yeah. I really love these halftime sections with the clean vocals. This part's a little much for me. I'm waiting to get punched in the face again. Really interesting. The emphasis on beats 1 and 2, um, leaving 3 and 4 kind of silent.
Step by step, pass to pass, slowly approach the surface. Nothing left to sacrifice. Delirious nocturne on the way.
Kind of cool to bring that all the way around there. All right, so that was a lot harder to listen to than Dimmu Borgir. uh, kind of wild. They're both black metal. Um, so this is a rough listen, at least for me. There's a lot of harsh, heavy, kind of like raw elements to it, especially when you talk about the speed of playing, um, and kind of the chaos, the cacophony of some of these sections. But it's really interesting that they can they have this other side of them as well, which is extremely melodic, and they kind of have this back and forth about that, creating some. I'm blanking out on this word here. But anyways, yeah, they have these two ideas, and they kind of go back and forth, and it provides relief from one, while emphasizing itself. And I've talked about that before, and it's a really good thing to do when you're writing music, is to have two or three different types of playing, especially when you're talking about some more extreme stuff. If you're writing a longer song and you have some ballad stuff in there, and you don't want it to all be ballad, throw in some faster, more metally stuff. Um, and when you have real hardcore, just insanity stuff like they're playing here, it's always good to have those sections that kind of pull it all back a little bit, allow the listener to breathe and kind of decompress and figure out what they've just listened to, and kind of give them that moment to breathe before throwing them right back into it. And the thing is, these guys do both of those very well. You don't really see the melodic side as much throughout the track, but I was quite impressed with their ability to write a three-piece classical section, even though I'm pretty sure one of the instruments was an electric guitar, I think. Um, I mean, the writing was just very well done. They basically had three melody lines, and none of them are stepping on each other's toes. They were all, beautiful on their own rights, but when they came together, and the way that they filled in the space of each other's lines, I mean, it's just a really gorgeous opening. And I'm kind of a sucker for that. I like to write pieces with minimal instrumental sections. Three and four, trios and quartets are kind of my bread and butter. It's what I like to work within. It's just complex enough that you can create these really cool ideas that weave in and out of each other, but it's not so simplistic like a duet where you find yourself being limited. At least I find myself being limited at times. Um, Maybe that's why I'm acclimating to the world of metal so well, because they are more minimal groups, especially compared to orchestras and stuff like that. But trios are just such a good number. Three is a good number. I mean, triangles are fantastic, right? Three is just such a solid number in pretty much everything, and that applies to music as well. And yeah, that, like I said, that opening though, just a really strong opening. Shows off a lot of their melodic chops and their compositional ideas and how they can utilize three melody lines to great effect, and have them written where they complement each other without providing any clutter. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how there isn't even a single section in there that I'm like, maybe that note shouldn't have been there, or maybe there's too much space here, somebody should have played something there. Like, it was just a really strong half minute or so maybe of trio writing, just so good. But the rest of the song, I'm impressed on a pure musicianship. The guitar playing is just fast and accurate. It's drowned out a little bit in the mix. I think it wasn't as prominent as I would have liked to hear, because I don't think that any bit of it might have been muddied, but it's a lot easier to kind of cover over some rough playing when you put a little lower in the mix. I would have liked to just hear every note, just to hear how crisp it is, because I mean, he's playing um, really fast, and it sounds like he's doubling up on notes, I think. Something like that. I mean, it's these fast runs, but I think some of the notes are being doubled up on, which kind of reduces some of the playing complexity while not reducing the listener complexity. Like, it still sounds complex. Um, Plus, it gives it this weight. Like, you're still getting the effect of eighth notes, where you're holding out these notes a little longer because the two notes are kind of clashing together. They're being played so quickly, there's very minimal space between them. So you still have this pulse of eighth notes. Um, but you're getting the speed. You're still hearing the attacks of 16th notes. Um, and I use 8th and 16th. It could be 16th and 32nd. Just depends on the tempo that it was written. But you get the idea. You get the sound of shorter notes, but you still get the multiple attacks of the faster notes. So yeah, there's definitely good cause, good reason to double up on notes during fast sections. That isn't just about reducing the complexity. Like, there's compositional reasons to do it, but um, it sounds clean in the sections I can hear, and I really want to hear like all the crispness. Like, if I could just get a stem of that guitar track, I'd just love to hear that playing. Um, but yeah, and then like the drums, I mean, they're going ridiculously fast. That part, it's like, I think it's alternating snare and bass, but it's just at such a ridiculous speed. Like, I am just in awe, like I am with anytime you guys show me just some ridiculously fast playing, I'm in awe of the musicianship, just to be able to play at this speed, at this accuracy, especially with each other, because you got to do this stuff live. Very few big metal bands are studio only. So you got to do this stuff live too, uh, without mistakes. So yeah, that I mean, there's still just so much awe and just appreciation for their ability to play this stuff. But I mean, to my ears, like I can hear some of the cool melodic ideas. Like I said, the guitar run is doing some really cool stuff in it, and it is lining up with, I think it's a violin in the background. So there is some melodic stuff going on, but I feel like a lot of that section is about just the brutality and speed and heaviness. Even though the melodic aspects are they're there, I just don't think they're the spotlight. They're not the core aspect, which I'm very much about melody. This is not a new thing for people who've been here a while. I've said that many times. I appreciate highly rhythmic sections like this, but I am a sucker for melody, and I'll take melody over something like this all the time. But that's where Emperor comes in and kind of serves me up too when they do it in a when they cut to halftime. They switch out the harsh vocals for this beautiful baritone. The dude just he's got such warmth, and that vibrato he puts in. It's just, I mean, I'm not a big fan of lower vocals. Soprano, alto. That's where my preference is in vocalists. Even in maybe not so much um, the super high stuff for males, but male sopranos, I definitely appreciate. And yeah, but still, I mean, this guy, even though it's not typically my cup of tea. I loved it. It's just the way that he brought it in, the way he presents himself, and he just has this majestic power to his voice. And it just goes with the music too. So yeah, I do want to touch on the dueling guitar section. I mentioned at the beginning that they have a really good way of writing melody and creating multiple lead lines and working them together into a single melodic idea. And you see it again, not as strongly because a lot of it is shred. We don't really see any what I would call storytelling in the guitar sections, but it's more than just trading off 8 bars each. They do overlap a little bit, and the overlaps typically pretty. They're typically pretty. You know, overlaps with some harmonies and melodic ideas overlapping there. Um, so yeah, they even though they're in their metal mode, and they're just playing ridiculously fast, um, they're still showing a little bit of their melodic chops, and I dig that. The solo was not my favorite. Like I said, I wish I could have seen a little bit more storytelling in there, but I understand it doesn't fit with the song. The song is about this speed and ferocity, and I don't think that holding out some notes and playing around with note lengths to create a more emotive. I say emotive, but actually there's a lot of emotion in here. Um, it's just not. There's not dynamics in the emotion. There is one emotion. It is fury. It's this relentless speed, and like I said, it fits perfectly with the song. I'm not bashing it at all uh, for that. I just I prefer a little bit more variety in my solos. But like I said, it fits with the themes of the song going on, so I can't really take anything away for that. But yeah, I can't say I'm gonna go check out more Emperor. This I mean, if this is what we're looking forward to with black metal, uh, it's a genre I'm gonna appreciate, but I'm not gonna listen to in my own time. So that's where I'm sitting with Emperor. I really appreciate what they did, just their pure musicianship and their ability to have this more melodic quality to them, where they can write these multiple melody lines and kind of interweave them with each other. I don't know if that was a one-off or if that's something that they do often. That they have the chops for that. But I really appreciate the opening a lot. Like you don't see that kind of trio writing in metal very often. So, or even rock for that matter. Um, I will say there was one section, I want to say like post chorus or pre chorus. It showed up a couple of times at the beginning of the song. I don't think it showed up at the end. But I got like a jazz fusion vibe out of it. It was just one section. I think it was the chord progression they chose, mixed a little bit with the timbre of the instruments. But yeah, that was cool. I wish I could point out exactly what point in time that was. Always caught me off guard. It's only like one or two bars though, and it's a very short section. There's an intro or an outro, I think, into going into the chorus or coming out of the chorus, sort of like a transition. Always threw me off though. But yeah, so that's Emperor. Those are my thoughts. It's where you guys come in. No, hit me up in the comments if there's anything else I should check out from them. I guess maybe I should check out their older works now that I have a taste of what they're doing now. I don't know. Hit me up with some older stuff. Hit me up with some modern stuff. Let me know what I should be checking out. While you're down there in the comments, you can like, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can also check out my Twitter and my Patreon. Those links are in the description. And I think I'm going to get one more video out today. So that leaves me only with 2 tomorrow. So you can expect another video coming out right now in this cluster. There should be 3 released all at 5 p.m. tonight or today. Actually, if you're watching this, all 3 are out. And I'm hoping to get the last 2 out tomorrow by 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UTC. So enjoy the stuff. You're getting a huge deluge of quality reactions all in like 2 days. So make some time, put it in your watch later. If you ain't got time, that's fine. But whenever you choose to watch my videos, hope you guys stay safe and healthy out there and have a fantastic time, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening.